Roundtable, guys, thank you for a little piece of your Saturday. 1980, thank you for hosting this on your channel. Guys, don't forget who is all in attendance today. We got my Cowboys family. Fifth quarter Cowboys. He's not in attendance, but he might make an appearance. Again, you're watching 1980. The Power Man himself. I'm the host of the show, Dallas Cowboy Football News 1980. How was your week? How was your Cowboys week? Tell me a little something special that went on with you.
Man, oh man, it was a short and long week at the same time. I am thankful to be here another Saturday with this roundtable crew, man. I can't wait to get to the topics. I enjoy doing this, talking Cowboys football. Nothing better. There's nothing better than talking Cowboys football. We got a lot of things going on. A good off season so far for us. I give it probably a B plus, maybe an A. A lot of talk on the news, a lot of talking heads giving their opinions and things like that. We're gonna get to all that, guys. But I want to thank you guys for having me on. Thanks for hosting football news. Cowboys family in the house as well. Fifth quarter Cowboys will be in shortly. Hope so. I can't wait to see what he got to say about D-Law. But guys, I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
My Cowboys family. Hope you had a good week. Introduce yourselves.
All right, guys,
What's
up?
up?
Thank you for joining all of us here at the round table. Thank you to you, Dallas Cowboys Football News, for taking time to host, as always, the great show in 1980. Thank you, as always,
Much
for
love.
running the show here. Appreciate it. And, of course, fifth quarter Cowboys, hopefully he hops in. Yes, we want to hear what
DJ
everyone
Crown
has to
Jerd.
say about Tank. Obviously, that was, kind of, I guess, a little bit unexpected just because from everything we heard, they seem to be, on polar opposite ends there. They just kind of couldn't be in the middle. And then out of nowhere, Tank's agent shows up. Then he signs. So,
Hey, we also signed a punter, guys. Anyways.
So, but, it just, when it comes to the Cowboys, just, happy to always
A lot
be
to
here with
talk
you guys
about.
here
Yeah,
to
guys.
talk Cowboys.
Roundtable crew, everybody that's watching, whatever, sub it up, go over 1980. You guys know all the links are in the description.
Do the Cowboys have a real off season? Because I feel like for some, we're always in the news. They're always being talked about. It's always something to discuss with them. So,
especially this week, biggest move I think of the offseason.
Don't jinx it.
Dallas Cowboys Football News.
Don't jinx it. It's been a quiet off season. The only thing we had coming up was the cop thing with Tyron Smith, where he's shoving security and all this jazz. But it's looking good for him. Nothing really coming out of the NFL yet. But 1980 brought up some grades here. He said B, maybe A minus. 1980. Let's talk a little bit more about your grade of the Cowboys off season, and let me know why you're giving them that grade. 1980. The floor is yours.
Just the off season in general. I give them that grade just for effort. I don't know. Obviously, the season hasn't started. You see, when you listen to the talking heads, let me go ahead and get to the talking heads real quick. Let me go ahead and get to the Shannon Sharps and the Stephen A. Smiths and the Chris Carters and all those guys. These guys are supposed to be professionals. You get what I'm saying? They're supposed to know what they're talking about. They went to school for all this. They played. Some of them played in the NFL. Some of them are Hall of Famers. Some of them are Super Bowl ring holders or wearers or whatever you want to call it. They're supposed to know. Whatever comes out of their mouth is supposed to be true. I love to listen to them. It's kind of like keeping your friends closer but keeping your enemies closer. I love to listen because everybody, I think the season has already started. It seems like the season has already started and I wasn't aware of it. Because they got us winning 8.5 games. Dallas Cowboys are not a Super Bowl ready team yet. With all these new additions and everything, and we still just not a Super Bowl team yet. We just can't get love anywhere. Vegas is only giving us 8.5, maybe 9 games. It's just ridiculous. And I just love to hear it. I love to hate. That lets you know we're still America's team and we're still doing something right. The richest team in the NFL. We're the most loved, the most hated. And I just love to hear what they have to say. I was watching the show Undisputed on my route yesterday, and they were talking about the Cowboys are Super Bowl ready. And Shannon Sharp, he disagreed. He talked bad about the Cobb. He talked bad about Covington. He talked bad about Ioka. All these guys we got. He talked bad about Quinn. All these guys are washed up. Jason Witten, they're washed up. Nobody's going to do anything. They seem to have a crystal ball somewhere, and they're able to predict the future. And we haven't started playing yet. Now, I get confidence. Even in Cowboy fans, I get confidence and everything. But I told myself I was going to hold back from – I gave that grade on just effort of the offseason, just us doing something, period, because we've kind of been quiet for the past, 10 years or so during the offseason. So just from what it looks like, just the facade of it, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how Witten is going to help the team. We don't know how Cobb is going to help the team. We don't know how Covington is going to help the team. We don't know yet. It's all still a mystery. Everybody's coming up with predictions. This guy's going to do this. This guy's going to do that. But neither one of us know. Neither one of us sitting at home on our couches watching us right now know what's going to happen. All we can do is hope. We can wish, like said Entertainment said on Kings of Comedy. We don't hope. We wish. We wish and hope things that go right this season. As long as everybody stays healthy, I think everybody that we picked up can contribute to the Cowboys in a positive way. That's what I'm going to say. Is that safe to say? Because it seems to me like if you have an opinion, especially in Cowboy Nation, if you have an opinion about somebody, they want to try to find a way for you to be wrong about it. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say from now on, I'm going to say, hey, I'm just going to go along with it. I know we're not at the D-Law thing yet, but the D-Law signing, we just go along. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Cowboys gave him. I didn't give him the money. They did. You get what I'm saying? I didn't ask for it. He did. That's what they decided to do. They're supposed to be professionals. It is what it is. Boom. That's what you got. But that's just my overall grade for effort for trying to bring some guys in here to make a difference. It's all about difference. And it's all about consistency too, but we'll get to that later on. That's all I got on that question, big dog. My bad.
Hey, no, take your time, man. Answer the question thoroughly. Talk to your audience. That's a nice X-Men classic picture you got there behind you. Underneath the old X-Men, Des Bryant. So it looks good, man. My Cowboys family. Off-season grades. How excited are you? And what do you give these Cowboys this offseason on a grade? Or is it too early to say? Let's lay by the bay and play with some clay. Take it away.
I mean, obviously, all we can speak about is what we've done so far up to this point. So, we do have to still see how these guys produce. But as of now, I would actually say more of a B+. Again, we made enough smaller one-year deals that I think were really smart and definitely more to our advantage. So very happy there. We haven't overpaid anyone in any major way. Even with Tank, is worked out to our advantage. The reasons I kind of take things away from them is two things. One, the Tank bullcrap. I mean, honestly, it shouldn't have even gotten to this point. I feel like we should have been able to secure him without at least the drama surrounding it. Like if it was going to take this long, you know what I mean? It should have been dealt with more in the Zach Martin type of way where they just kind of said, we're still working on the deal, we're still working things out. But it was kind of clear that there was still like friction there, and I don't think that was a good move overall for the Cowboys. But at the end of the day, we got him signed. So I think that overall we're going to get past that. But two, the safety thing. I know the Cowboys are looking to, it seems like, draft a safety high with either their second or third round pick that we have coming up now in the draft. I'm sure we're talking about that later, but I still feel like there was so much, depth there in the free agent market when it came to safety. And there were ways where we could have gotten someone definitely better than George Alaka and definitely better than Jeff Heath without paying too much, especially considering now a little bit of the money we have to play around with the Tank's contract. So I say B+. What do you say, baby?
I mean, listen, it's I still think it's kind of hard to still figure out the off season because
that's why I said just
as a whole, and I was answering DCFN's question. As a whole, how do you think about it? And as a whole, it's been very good, very effective, and that's the thing is I said this yesterday. I said this a couple days ago on our live streams that this is being a lifelong Cowboy fan. This is an actual turning of the page, turning of the corner for the organization, and that is the biggest key out of everything, out of who's the quarterback, the running back, whatever. It's the mindset's changing. And it was a little fumbled last year, but this year you're seeing kind of ironing itself out right now. I like what their mindset is here. We open up a lot of cap space for this year, for the next 3 years, guaranteed contract, but it's all top heavy, getting it out of the way. And then if you want to pay really $20 million the last 2 years of his contract, I mean, to me, when it comes to Tank, we got a great deal. He got a great deal. It's showing him that he got a lot of money. A lot of that's a signing bonus, $25 million. So it doesn't hit us fully on the cap. And that's the thing here is like he's actually saving us a little bit of money on the cap. Actually, a good chunk of it. Yeah. I'm reading $9.5 million. He's saving us on the cap because he's hitting us for about $11 million. So, and that's a decrease from 12.5, which is where he was at. Then you add a $25 million salary cap. Signing bonus. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's fine. Next year and the year after, it's $17 million a year. 17. Not even DJ can agree with that. This year, it's $11 million for this season for him on the cap, on the books, as far as the cap is concerned. So $11 million this year. 2020, you're getting hit with, 17 million, another 17. And if you add it up, that's $65 million, guys, when you add the signing bonus. That's $65 million. That's his full guarantee. And you look at the last 2 years of his contract, it's under $20 million the last 2 years. But we can cut him and not take a hit on the salary cap. So the Cowboys have viable salary cap.
MCF, you got carried away a little bit. That's the next topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's stick to the grades. Let's stick to the grades.
The grade, hey.
You still haven't given a grade.
I'm not going to give a grade. I'm not giving a grade because I think that it's going to, right now, it's going to be, all right, I would have to, if I was forced, I mean, listen, it's been a great offseason as far as our Cowboys are concerned. I don't care about the big names. I care about the business side of it, and fantastic across the board. If I was going to get one right and give one right now, this is what, continues this direction. I'm going to assume so. A+. I think it's a fantastic offseason.
Wow, that says a lot.
There you go. You want my grade? Pull my, you're going to force me on it. Go ahead, man.
There you go. What about you?
Oh, man. You look at everything the Dallas Cowboys have done this offseason. Who they lost, I mean, they really didn't lose much. I mean, Damian Wilson was a big part of this team. Sucks he went to the Chiefs. Cole Beasley went to the Bills. The Sauce Man himself. And you look, they restructured Sean Lee, which was a smart move. And instead of cutting him, they came to their senses and they restructured that huge move there. They, let Cole Beasley go, which is understandable. They bring in a guy like Randall Cobb, which was if it's not an upgrade, it's about the same. Now, the only thing that's different is the rapport Cole Beasley had with Dak Prescott. But Dak Prescott didn't have any problems building that core with Amari Cooper. So a guy like Randy Cobb that puts in that work just like an Amari Cooper, I don't think there's going to be a problem there with the chemistry of it all for Randall Cobb to make an impact day one. They keep Tavon Austin, which, in the playoffs was a monster in the playoffs. Those kickoff returns against Seattle, guys, it was a good move to keep Tavon. And then, they signed some insurance there at that strong safety position in George Iloka. But like everybody's said already, looks like safety is either going to be top priority or top priority. I mean, they're going safety 58 overall in the second round. And I would not be surprised if they trade a player, maybe Taco Charlton or something like that, Jordan Lewis, and maybe a draft pick or something to trade up in the first round to go get that safety. And I have a feeling the Cowboys might just trade up in that first round. But topic at hand is the grade. They took care of business. They went out and they signed Cameron Fleming, and they got that offensive line shored up. They got their defensive line shored up. Kerry Hyder, Christian Covington. They wanted Terrell McClain last year, but he went to the Atlanta Falcons, and so Christian Covington is that Terrell McClain prototype that can play and destroy that middle, with the addition of Antoine Woods in there, with the addition of Malik Collins. So that middle, the outside, trading for a guy like Robert Quinn. Guys, this was probably the most productive offseason under Jason Garrett's regime as a head coach. They didn't go out. They didn't spend big money. They signed their own player in a Tank Lawrence, and they took care of business. They found holes. They found good 28-year-olds that can plug in them holes and play for you at, if not a average level, but maybe something a little bit better than that. So A+ all day long. Kudos to this coaching staff. Kudos to Jerry Jones. Kudos to Will McClay, Stephen Jones, the Dallas Cowboy organization. Cowboy fans, if you rep that star proudly, you should be happy about this. And the draft, everything they did in this offseason to get ready for this draft, it's a breather. It's a breathing room. If you were claustrophobic, they opened the door for you to get out. And now you can breathe. And that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys did. Does anybody have any discussions about the grades? My Cowboys family, Dallas Cowboy fan 1980, what you got?
We're good. We're good, man. I like what I hear.
Yeah.
Good over here, man.
All right. Now, we might be talking about Tank Lawrence for a whole half hour, maybe 8 minutes, but let's take a quick commercial break, guys. You are watching the Roundtable here on Saturday night on Dallas Cowboy Fan 1980s channel. And don't forget the panel, guys, my Cowboys family, fifth quarter Cowboys. I'm Dallas Cowboy Football News. Let's roll into the Tank Lawrence discussion. I know my Cowboys family, Mr. Fiance, is itching to get this talked about. Take it away, MCF.
Well, we actually.
I mean, you can start it up if you like. I mean, I have some views on this, and obviously you've already heard some of them, so I kind of jumped the gun there. But you want to go first, or?
I mean, I'm probably one of the few people who, from early on, like, even though, Tank, I had some doubts just because of the surgery thing, because it felt dirty to me, just wrong, I guess I should say, but. I've been saying sign Tank, keep Tank. We need Tank. The Cowboys are effing up by not locking him in. If the plan was always to keep him long term, the Cowboys screwed themselves in this deal in the end, really, because they could have possibly locked him in long term sooner, cheaper, maybe worked out something that worked out to their advantage a little better. But in the end, this is where they ended up. I'm happy with this deal. I'm happy that we finally just have things secured. But I do think it's interesting the way that the Cowboys did front load his contract. I hope that ends up paying off for us, like you said, with this, in the sense of either, he performs well enough, he's performing to the level that we're still paying him at the 4th and 5th year, or, if we still maybe want to do something about him or trade him or cut him or whatever, it gives the Cowboys options. And The fact that we're not locked in a major way that way, but at the same time, I still think we're paying him what he deserves to be paid because, for whatever whether you guys think that his sacks are, weaker side or whatever, he still produced to the point where, he's in that league where that's around where he should be getting paid. So again, I think it's a great deal. I'm happy that we have him on this team. I just wish that the Cowboys would have done it sooner, really.
Yeah, and again, as we've been saying, the sooner the better it would have been, but this is negotiations. And this happened with Emmitt Smith. It happened with a whole bunch of players, throughout the history of the star, but of the league. But the thing is that, I personally love the way this deal is set up. Listen, Tank is happy now, all right? And let me explain to you why. He's $31 million, whatever. That's the highest one-year deal for any player outside of the quarterback position. That's historic up to this point, right? So he's the big man on campus when it comes to anybody outside the quarterback position. Fair enough. Obviously quarterbacks get paid a little more than that, but so he's happy about that, and his guaranteed money, which is what he wanted, $65 million in the first 3 years. That leaves, it's $105 million for the contract of a 5-year deal, and 65 is guaranteed. That leaves 40 on the last 2 years of his deal. And we're estimating here, it could be, a little more, a little less, but the way it's set up, and again, $25 million, not really hitting the cap. You're bringing his number down from 20.5 for this year to 11. You're saving $9.5 million on the cap. And then for 2020, you get it for $17 million. Now, nobody's going to disagree. Maybe you don't like him getting 31 right now, but that's the way it is. That's his market. He got happy. He's got 31 million right now. Boom. But next, he's getting $11 million hit on the cap this year. He's getting 17 next year on the cap, 17 a year after on the cap. And then if he's good enough to stay on the team at 20 million, what is that edge rusher going to demand then? He's locked in for 20 million or in that range. So, and we have the team option. So at that point, it becomes he has us, kind of over the barrel the first 3 years. but we have him over the barrel the last 2. So I love the deal. It leaves the Cowboys a lot of options if they do cut him, like you had said, and if they cut him or trade him or whatever, they got another $40 million open in the last 2 years of his deal for the Cowboys team if it doesn't work out. I don't agree with you as far as signing him earlier because we had to see him do more. We needed the franchise tag, and I don't like the way it was handled, but that's negotiation. So that is my opinion. And again, I understand what you're saying, but it could. And again, I agree 100%. You're hurting the whole team about signing their own.
I mean, more the second one than the first one. But
no, I know. But that's it. That's it, guy. I don't want to rant on too long about that. But yeah, I mean, I love the deal. That's why I pushed it to an A+ overall. I love the other deals you mentioned, and I know we discussed it before on the roundtable here. But this was the cherry on top. This was the needed one that we need. This is the one we needed to really go forward. The first domino.
Yeah, like I said, we can't do anything else until we got Tank signed, and that just kind of opens it up for a lot of other things.
And I can't wait what's next on it. What's coming next, especially right here on the roundtable.
Miss Fiance, you have anything to say?
Oh, I mean
on the Tank situation.
I mean, you should kind of said it a little bit. She opened it up. She started it up. But go ahead, baby.
Yeah, so I mean,
add on to that if you'd like.
So you kind of talked about everything. So, I don't really want to repeat anything you said or go over anything else, but, just, again, I'm happy we got it done. Like, the biggest thing is we should have gotten it done sooner. I really just wanted to clarify more about that. Again, the first franchise tag made sense because we weren't 100% sure. After that season, we knew we were going to sign him long-term. So the Cowboys just, again, the fact that we were so far apart in negotiations, the fact that Tank ended up waiting this long to have the surgery, again, the Cowboys entered themselves into a lot of needless drama. And I just really hope, again, we're hearing Tank is supposed to have his surgery this Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So he's supposed to have his surgery Wednesday. Again, let's just really, really hope he's ready to go by the start of the season and that this doesn't hold him back in any way, shape, or form. I know he should be okay. But let's put it this way. Maybe those 2 months or that month or even those 2 weeks, that week, whatever it is, could be the difference between Tank, remaining healthy throughout the season. So I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys brought themselves into a lot of unnecessary, crap there. I'm just glad they got him signed and locked in before the draft. I think that's going to be key for the rest of the future and what we're trying to accomplish right now. And it gives me, again, I actually want to know what your thoughts, Dallas Cowboy Football News and 1982, do you guys feel like the Cowboys are putting a little more pressure with signing Tank now and doing all these other things? Do you feel that pressure of, we do want to win right now? I know they always do, but I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much all my thoughts on Tank. That makes me feel like we do want to win now, and I feel it from the team, too. I feel it from the front office down that we are making a run for the Super Bowl. We're not just, messing around, doing dumb moves. I don't know. It does feel like a different vibe, like Fiance said.
We'll talk about that in our next segment of do the Cowboys want to win now? Stay tuned, guys. But first, let's hear from 1980. Tank Lawrence, 1980. I know you did an hour live show. You've been pretty active on this topic on your channel. Kind of regurgitate what you've been saying, 1980. Take it away. The power is yours.
I'm sorry. Was caught up in the power. My bad. Whew, it was generating. It was almost generating. You really don't feel it. I really don't feel the power until the season starts, but it was almost a little bit of power there coming. Cowboys family, they're the king and queens of the numbers. I don't have to do that. They already did that. I just sit back and relax on that part. Agree with everything they said. Everybody has valid points. This is my thing with the D-Law situation. The most important thing in this whole situation, regardless of numbers and everything, is it's over with. Yeah, I'm glad it's over with. Now we can focus on other things. Now we can focus on the surgery, him getting back on the field, being 100%. Because remember, he was playing with this injury, this shoulder injury or whatnot. So he'll be 100% when hopefully. I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to be 100%. I'm always a positive guy. Try to stay positive. Try to remain positive. So I feel he's going to be back and be ready to go 100%. Right now, the ball is in his court. You see what I'm saying? You got your money now. Now it's time to shut up and play ball. All to the ball in the bad mood. See, the Cowboy Nation is an impatient bunch. We want to know what's going on. We want to know if you're ready. It's consistency. That word seems to be floating around a lot. It has to float around. That should be on everybody's locker. Consistent. Got to remain consistent. That's what we're looking for. You got to have a Cowboy Nation likes this signing, and you got to have that don't. Everybody has a valid point, valid excuse on if they like it or not. It's our job to kind of judge it, but Cowboys gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. They got experts on this. They know what's best for the team. They've been doing this for a million years. So they don't like paying defensive players, but they see something special in him. If you don't like D-Law, if you don't like the signing, this is my thing. A player is never going to be perfect. I think we're all looking for perfection in D-Law, just like we're looking for perfection in Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott in the offensive line, in the defensive line. We want everybody to be perfect. Every time Zeke gets the ball, we want him to run a touchdown. Every time Dak goes back in the pocket, we want him to throw a touchdown pass accurately. Every time the ball is in the air, we want Amari Cooper to run it for a touchdown, to catch the ball and run it. Same thing with Michael Gallup. Same thing with Cobb when he gets on the field. We want everything. Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith. We want them to make every sack, every tackle, shoot every gap perfectly. We want everybody to be perfect. That's the problem. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. And I think we got to learn to live with that. DeMarcus Lawrence is never going to be perfect. When I played football, I had to realize that I would never be perfect. I tried to be. I thought I could up here. But I knew I was never going to be perfect. I was going to make mistakes. I'm human. That's what happens. You make mistakes every day. You fuck up every day. Believe it or not, you do. And it's just one of those things. Now, we want D-Law to be perfect. We want him to get sacked. We want him to produce. Last year, he didn't show up in the playoffs. Even I said it. I'm guilty of it. I said it myself. Hell, I was probably the first one saying it if I didn't beat DJ to it. Where was D-Law in the playoffs? Why was Jared Goff's jersey so clean? Where were the hot boys then? Where were yada, yada, yada. And we were just basically out-coached and out-played. We just weren't ready. We're looking for perfection in a human being. D-Law is never going to be perfect. He's never going to get every sack. But what he has to realize is the word, like I started at the beginning, is to be consistent. You got to be consistent in some kind of way. You can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody never will be perfect. But you have to be consistent. You got your money now. Now, with this money in your pocket, behind that, you owe us, you owe the Cowboys consistency. You're never going to be perfect, but you got to be consistent. So I wish he would have got this surgery a long time ago. Now that he probably would have got signed regardless if he using surgery for collateral or not. He would have, if he went ahead and got it, he would have been recovered from it by now and been ready to go, when mini camp and training camp and stuff starts. But like I keep saying over and over, today's NFL is a new generation. It's money first, win second. You never know what the day is going to bring you if you just wait a little bit. If you just go ahead and take care of your body, take care of yourself, get your surgery, boom, 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 boom. That's my thing. But consistency is the thing with D-Law. That's the most important thing. It's with everybody pretty much, because nobody will never be perfect. I'm not going to say I like the signing. I'm not going to say I don't like it. It's to be determined. Everything each year after year. See, it's not like it used to be back in the day. Back in the 90s, we knew we could look at the schedule and be like, we're going to beat this team. We're going to beat that team. We're going to the Super Bowl. We'll face the 49ers in the NFC Championship. It's not like that anymore. It's a different league, different breed of athlete. It's a young man's game now. So, with that being said, I appreciate the signing. I appreciate it because, believe it or not, whether you like it or not, D-Law is a threat. Those numbers didn't come from anywhere. They didn't come out the sky. He got the numbers. They're there. He might not have had them last year, or some years he was up, some years he was down. He wasn't consistent, but they exist, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing the fan base can do about it. Cowboys gonna do what they're gonna do. He's got his money. It's time to play. Let's play ball now. Out to the ball in a bad mood. I'm sorry I went too long. I just had to get all that out so people can understand where I'm coming from with the D-Law situation. It's to be determined. He needs to go and he needs to ball out this year. Like, seriously. All the crying stuff you did, you put everybody through. Put the Cowboys through. All the little gimmicks you use and stuff like that, show me the money t-shirts and all that stuff. Okay, well, show us the sacks. We don't need you to be perfect. We need you to be consistent.
Those great points, man. Great points.
My apologies. Thank you, 1980, for that. And then I guess my take on Tank Lawrence is, everybody wants to talk about Tank and the postseason stats that he put up. Aaron Donald didn't have a sack in the postseason either, but no one wants to talk about that. The Cowboys were smart about this move, and the timing of it was perfect. The cutoff date was July. In July, they got it done well before July. They got it done in April. That tells you how important DeMarcus Lawrence is to this football team. Now, when this report came out that he was paid $105 million, $65 guaranteed, $25 million sign-on bonus with $65 million of it guaranteed in the course of 5 years, people were coming at me laughing and, oh, they overpaid. I've seen a comment in here by Anthony Deanne saying, oh, they overpaid. No, they did not overpay. 25 sacks in 32 games, I think it is. That's good numbers. That's damn good numbers, guys. And the presence, everything that Tank Lawrence brings to this football team is something good. It brings everybody. I mean, hell, Kayvon Frazier put on Twitter that they would run through a wall for number 90. Just the presence of the locker room, the presence on the field. You can't replace that. That's why when people were saying trade him, cut him, you don't do that with the guy like Tank Lawrence. You think back in 2014, Jeremy Mincey led this football team in sacks, and then when Tank was suspended and hurt, Vincent Mayowa led the team in sacks with 6. So we could trade him, we could do all that, but expect 6 sacks from your defensive line of your number one guy. I don't trust Taco. Robert Quinn came in, but that's 2 different positions. So Robert Quinn, Tank Lawrence, this is the combination. This is the 1-2 punch that you want on this football team. And Tank, and I think Tank handled it pretty well. Now, there's rumors, speculations, but yeah, I really don't buy much into that because it's not coming from direct sources. It's sources over sources over. So I could tell 1980 something about Tank Lawrence. He could tell my Cowboys something. The story I told him, and fifth quarter can come back, and by the time fifth quarter tells me what I told 1980 to begin with, is probably skewed and changed up anyway. So whenever per source they said this, they said that, I don't buy into that. But it's great that he is getting this labrum surgery done, and I can't wait to see what Tank looks like 100%. And it's Robert Quinn and Tank rushing that quarterback. It's good things in the NFC East. It's good things in the NFC, and it's going to be good for playoffs. Tank Lawrence is an animal. He's a beast. I've seen this man knock a ball out of the air and intercept it. It's almost like DeMarcus Ware did against the Giants in 2012, something like that. So he's that type of player, guys. And I just can't wait to see the the next 5 years with this guy. The last two were perfect. And the way the Cowboys handle it, they put him on a prove it year. He got 10.5 sacks. People call that the average. Guys, that's above average. There's a lot of defensive ends that don't get double-digit sacks back-to-back years. And Tank Lawrence did it. It might be just 10.5, but it's still double-digit sacks, and it still matters. It matters $105 million. That's how much that crap matters. So, really good things from this offseason, and just everything about it is just with Tank is just I can't wait. And here we go, guys. Anybody got anything to add on Tank Lawrence?
It's funny, man, because I'm sorry, let me say something like that. It's funny because I was just going live and I was talking to my people we were talking about Tank. We was like, oh, Cowboys are gonna do something hopefully this weekend. I got a feeling. And my boy Saul Molina, who's in the chat, every time he said something that the Cowboys, some news or something, it would come true. So I'm going to start. I told him on my live stream yesterday when I found out, because I was pulling up in my driveway. And before that, on the video before that though, I said, he said, 1980, don't worry, they're gonna sign him this weekend. And I said, okay, I'm gonna put that. I'll put another one in your hands, in your book. He's like, all right, trust me. And as soon as I was driving up, I closed out that live stream. I was driving up in my driveway, getting into the garage. I ain't even let the garage down yet. Boom, got the damn alert on Tank. I was like, oh my God. I went back live again. It was crazy, man. It felt good though. I can't say that. It did feel good for the Cowboys to go ahead and get it out the way, because Tank is a force on the defensive line. He just is. He causes trouble, regardless if he's consistent or not. We need it. That's something that we need. We got Gregory probably going to be suspended for maybe 4 to 6 games. We got to think about that. Other guys make other guys better. Him and Cobb on the other side. Not Cobb, Quinn. That's nasty, man. That's gonna be a wrecking machine, dog. I feel I'm a defensive guy. The defensive line, that's your first line of defense. Your first line of defense. And if that is strong and powerful and unstoppable, it's a domino effect. Y'all know this. Y'all say the same thing. It's a domino effect. It makes everybody else's job easier. I remember playing in high school and college, hell, even arena football. If our defensive line was showing up, I'd be backpedaling like, oh shit, oh damn, a sack. Okay, cool. It just makes everybody's job easier. You get what I'm saying? So consistency, guys, is the key this year. That word is going to win a Super Bowl. Consistency and fundamentals. Those 2 words will win you Super Bowls. Bottom line, that's just it.
Mr. and Mrs. Fiance, anything to add on the Tank situation? So everybody kind of had their thing.
No, again, you guys made some great points, and I definitely agree about the consistency, because that's kind of part of the reason why we're paying these big numbers. We're expecting big results. We're expecting consistent results throughout these next handful of years. We got you. So, let's see it not just from Tank, but from the rest of the Cowboys, right? So.
That's right. Now, Miss Fiance asked a question: are the Cowboys in a urgency to win? You look at what they did this offseason, a bunch of 1-year deals, not a whole lot of plug and play, but smart 1-year deals. 1980, I'm going to head and start with you first. Are the Dallas Cowboys really in it to win it?
That's a good question. That's a real good question. This is what they discussed on Undisputed the other day. And Shannon Sharp. Nope, they're not. Nope. Everybody that we signed. Nope, they're not. I love being the underdog and proving people wrong. That's why you play sports. You play sports to prove people wrong. The talking heads in the suits, they think they know it all, and they really don't. Like I say, the season hasn't even started yet, and they know we're already going to, the Eagles, who we swept last season, are going to be better than us. Who lost their best quarterback are going to be better than us. I can see us being in the running for a Super Bowl. These are pieces. These are important. these aren't just superstar signings that we did. You know, these not Odell Beckhams and, you know, those kind of guys, you know, those elite players. You know, like the Lakers did back in the day. Lakers signed out Karl Malone. He was on his way out. Gary Payton, Glenn Rice. They had all those Kobe, Shaq. They had all those superstars and didn't win a championship that year. Everybody, they're looking at the Browns. The Browns guys, they got all those stars over there, all those up and coming young players. It looks good. The facade, like that. I'm using the word facade so much. I've been watching too much Universal Studios videos and stuff on Adam the Woo. I follow Adam the Woo if y'all know who that is. Real good channel, man. I've been using that word for a long time. But the facade of it looks good. The Odell Beckhams, all those guys over there, they think that the Browns are going to do better than us. And God bless them. You know, more power to them. But you got to have the right pieces in line to coach all those egos. And that's why the Lakers failed that year. You got to have the right coach in place to handle, the right offensive coordinator, the right personnel to nobody's thinking about that. They just said, oh, superstars, they're going to win the Super Bowl. The Browns are going to be the next Super Bowl champions. But back to the Cowboys, I was just using that for an example. I feel that we are in place to be a Super Bowl contender this year. Guys, we were two games away last year, 2 games away. We got back to the division. We won the NFC East once again. And we're one of the best teams in the East. And I feel that I just feel in my bones that this will be a replica of 2016. It could be. It could be. If they do everything right, it could be the replica of 2016, maybe even better. But those 2 words just get to floating around again. Get to floating around. Consistency and, you know, I mean, if they follow that, fundamentals and consistency. It's if you go back to those things, those are textbook elementary things. The penalties. Remember all the penalties we got? Zeke would have a big run and up holding Lyle Collins or false start holding Tyron Smith. You know, Fredericks is back on the scene now. I don't know how healthy he's going to be, but he said he feels pretty good. And that's all. That's good enough for me. We got the general back on the offensive line. We get that offense going. We get that running game going. We dominate. And we run the ball. And they don't stop it. Run it down their throats. And they don't stop it. We can't be stopped. I mean, just like 2016. That's the formula I'm looking for. And I think we got better players than then. Like, seriously, I think we do. We're a better, more experienced team from then, from that time. But pound, we got so many weapons. There's no excuse now. Our offensive line is getting healthier. I don't want to say better just yet. I just want to say healthier. They're getting healthier. So that could mean better. I'm playing it safe because, guys, I'm telling you, people come on my page and they take my words and they flip it around on me real quick. So I'm playing it safe. I'm just going to say the offensive line is getting healthier. This team is getting more mature. They know what an ass whooping feels like. They know how to almost get there and lose it. You get what I'm saying? So once you've been through that, once you've been through that so many times, you can only kick a dog so many times and they'll bite you back. So I have a feeling inside we're going to have a pretty positive season. I'm not going to say any records or anything like that, but I think we could be a contender in the Super Bowl or for the Super Bowl, racing to the Super Bowl this year. That's just my 2 cents. Y'all use it wisely.
My Cowboys family, Miss Fiance, this is your question. Is the urgency there for the Dallas Cowboys to win now? Take it away.
I mean, I said it before. Obviously, first, I'm going to start with this disclaimer. I can't claim to speak for some long history of knowing the Cowboys or anything. So I can't speak for, again, like Fiance can, for a lot of like years past, how it felt, that energy. You guys definitely can speak to it a lot more. And again, 1980, great points there. I do truly feel like there is something different, though. I mean, I know it's hard to really quantify it, okay? It's not like you can directly say, okay, this is why it's different, or, because Cowboys make changes every year. Every team goes through player changes, staff changes, whatever. But at the end of the day, the main people are still there, which is, the Jones family, obviously, and Jason Garrett himself. So the philosophy of the Cowboys overall still hasn't necessarily changed. It's not like there has been major, big changes, but I don't know. I still feel like there is something different. And maybe I think maybe it is less about the coaching staff in that sense. I do think this is a little more internal, and I think it's due to one person. And I actually think it's due to Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott, his leadership, what he's been able to do, the way that he has been able to kind of rally this team and really make this locker room his, I can't begin to speak for how much that has done to make this team like a real team. And I think that them coming together that way speaks more to Dak's leadership. Maybe, and again, I'm not trying to take anything away from the coaching staff either. They obviously have a hand in it, but, I think that energy there, that, I think Dak and that same teamwork, I think they're bringing something different to the table. And I'm excited to see what the rest of this season, what the rest of, these next few years are going to look like with these guys. I mean, I think it was you, Dallas Cowboys Football News, who made the joke, like, it's been a quiet off season. Like, don't jinx it now. And, we just saying, like, don't you feel, I feel like we're feeling a difference. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't quite say this is exactly why, but anyway, what are your thoughts, maybe? I mean, do you think that we are making the moves?
Yeah. First off, thanks to John Jones and Ganja Man. They're just fantastic. Thank you, guys. But I said this on yesterday, on the channel here on MCF. I've said it multiple times, as we're building up to this point. And I'm like, there's been a change. But this, to me, is a great move for now and for the future. It's not just a now to win now. I think it's now and the future. That's why I think it's something different than we've seen the last bunch of years. It's either been, obviously it's always been let's win now, right? But it's always been that. But it's kind of been built differently. We had the bad years of the, late 90s, let's call it the 2000s, early 2000s. And then, Romo came along and kind of boosted the team. Parcells was there. The thing is that I don't think I felt Jerry Jones lose his group, purposely giving his power a little bit away to Stephen Jones and Will McClay.
And that's kind of a big deal when you think about it.
Huge deal. And that's why I'm saying 30 years. I'm talking about back with Jimmy Johnson. He hired Jimmy Johnson as his puppet, and he just didn't work out. 5 years later, he's gone. They pay him $2 million to get out of town. So, to break the contract. So anyways, the point I'm trying to say is that I love where this whole organization is going. It's not, and they're trying to win now. We have a team that can win now. And this solidifies it. Someone like Tank. Getting Robert Quinn is a big reason to say, okay, now it's a 1-year deal. Basically, we get a compensation pick if he leaves next year, which we probably not going to pay him what he's going to demand. Randall Cobb, similar situation. Probably get a compensation pick when we let him go next year. 1-year deal. Again, Alan Hearns. We can, again, I'm just saying, if you don't make the team, that's $5 million on the cap.
In a way, I don't want to interrupt you real quick. Yes, I had one quick thought, too, in a very different parallel to how maybe, like, to use a team that we know pretty well, the Eagles. Right? They kind of, went really heavy, really big on 1 year, and yes, they got a ring out of it, but, they're kind of precarious. We're in a situation where we are realistically in a spot to succeed, not screwing ourselves for the future.
Yeah, and again, that's the key. I love the move for now and the future. I think that is where, that is exactly what we need to do. And again, I think we're setting ourselves up salary cap wise, player wise, player talent wise, and, even coaching wise. I mean, these guys are all kind of on their last year, right? Except for the main core of the team. So I love where this is going. This is the Will McClay / Stephen Jones effect. And I'm looking forward to what's ahead. I really am. This is the most excited I've been about the foundational issues that we've been talking about. How many times on this channel? I'm with you guys off the round table, offline, online, about the foundational thing that's missing. 1980 knows the feeling from those years. The DCFN knows the feeling from those years. DJ. So it's a different. I'm starting to get a little bit of that. That feeling back, and that's huge. And I love it. Big kudos out to the change of this. What's going on here in the front office and the foundation of the outlook for this. Star.
Yes. So Dallas Cowboys Football News. What are your feelings? I mean, how are you feeling these same vibes? Are you feeling something different? Yeah, like what's cooking?
The Dallas Cowboys are in it to win it, baby. Woo! I mean, geez, you know, they built this team up to go into the draft like, you know, to breathe, relax. Best player available. And if that safety's there at 58, which I'm thinking that it is, Adderley, baby, from Delaware, will be our 58th pick in this year's draft. But we're not talking draft yet. Maybe next week. Maybe next week, but who knows? But yes, the Cowboys are in it to win it. And if all the haters keep doubting us, which they do every year, when the Dallas Cowboys were sitting 3-5 last year, people were pulling all kinds of memes and the Homer Simpsons hiding in the bushes. I've seen them. But guess what? They deleted those memes. And the Dallas Cowboys went on to win a playoff game with a 3-5 record to begin the year. Ouch. Ouch. And the addition of Amari Cooper. Bittersweet moments for the Dallas Cowboys. But last topic, guys. Last topic. 1980. Are you ready for this last topic? My Cowboys family, are you ready for this last topitic? The topic is...
Know it.
Yes, sir.
Is the pressure. We know that 1980 just said it. We have the talent. Is the pressure. Now, we know defense and Chris Richard and Rod Marinelli is going to put in work. Top 5 defense in the National Football League. Is the pressure on Kellen Moore or on Jason Garrett to get this offense right? 27th in the red zone. Who is under more pressure? Moore? Oh, bless me. Or Garrett? 1980, take it away.
Wow, good man. You always come up with the good questions. You know what? I gotta go with Moore. A lot of people will say Garrett, and I understand why. But just me, you know, everybody's different. Everybody think different. But I got to go with Moore. We kind of know what Garrett can do. We've seen Garrett's, the talent kind of played in 2014, 2016, made him look good. But we know Garrett. We know him. We know he's the clapper, the gum chewer. Even when we're down 40-something to 0, he's clapping and chewing gum and putting that dye in his hair. We don't know Moore. We don't know him well. We know Moore as the guy on the headphones trying to develop Dak Prescott. To me, didn't really do a good job. Then all of a sudden, we all predicted that he would get moved up to offensive coordinator, and he did. All of a sudden, he's just playbook guru. So we're going from a guy that could barely develop Dak Prescott at the quarterback position, that's Linehan's boy, to all of a sudden this playbook genius guru. I don't know if that's the salesman in Jerry or spicing him up or what, but I think more of the pressure is going to be on him to see if he can be creative enough to get us in the end zone. Because we have no problem getting up the field. Y'all notice we got to the red zone all the time. We get up the field, all the way up down the field. Quick. Zeke, Amari Cooper, Gallup, Schultz, Jarvin. Had no problem getting up the field. It's the red zone. You have to get, like DJ, the quarter Cowboy said it best, you have to get creative in the red zone. I agree 100%. Because it's a shorter distance of field. The defense gets tougher in the red zone because they don't have to cover that much field. There's no big field behind them to cover with. So you have to get really creative as an offensive coordinator. Call the right plays. Open up that playbook. Have a creative mind. Develop a strategy to get in that end zone. We had a hard time getting – Zeke only had, 6 or 7 touchdowns last year. Zeke, the leading rusher with a broken offensive line. The guy that was doing it all, catching balls out of the backfield, taking on play-action pass blocks, 300-pound lineman blitzing, linebackers blitzing. He taking on them blocks, going off the field, limping, coming in and out. only had 6 touchdowns, maybe 7. I can't. I don't remember. I know it was 6 or 7. Only had 6 or 7 touchdowns last year, but he was the leading rusher. The leading rusher they should have the most touchdowns in the NFL. That's last time I checked. But we're not creative enough. So it's up to Kellen Moore to open up that playbook. I think Garrett's it's gonna be like probably start off as a trial thing, and then Garrett's probably, oh, let me take over. Who knows how that's gonna work out. But I think the pressure is more on Kellen Moore. And I like that. More on Kellen Moore. I think I'm gonna make a T-shirt that's gonna say more on Kellen Moore. And you know what before Moore, you know what comes before Moore. You can put anything in front of that. More on Kellen Moore. That's what it's all about. T-shirts now on sale. Dallas Cowboys fan 1980. More on Kellen Moore. Dak Prescott. Let me bring up a stat real quick. I'm pretty sure y'all know this stat.
Bring it up. Let's hear it.
He was sacked 58 times last season. That's second behind Deshaun Watson. I think he was like in the 60s, 62 or 63 or something like that. We get this offensive line together, give him time to throw the ball, find somebody open. This dude was running for his life 58 times. I mean, average that out by game. That's ridiculous. Once we get that ball rolling, get the play calling, the right plays called when they're supposed to be played, we'll be fine. I think the stress is on the ball is in Kellen Moore's court. That's my 2 cents on it. Y'all use it wisely.
My Cowboys family, who is the pressure on the most? Jason Garrett or Kellen Moore? Take it away.
I mean, I gotta say it. It's the one, the only Carrot Man, guys. Jason Garrett. I mean, no doubt. He's the one who, Kellen Moore just earned the job. You know what I mean? They'll probably give him at least a little bit of a break. And even if he does get cut, I think his future's bright, and I think he's going to be okay. You know what I mean? But Jason Garrett's clearly, no matter what Jerry Jones wants you to think, no matter what Jason Garrett says about how comfortable he is playing without a contract, and Jerry Jones said it himself, like the whole reason he's doing it is because he kind of likes that little pressure. You know what I mean? Like he likes that extra push, that extra motivation, that lack of a safety net. I think he used those words too. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
But
yeah.
He said that he likes the fact that Garrett doesn't have a safety net. Sometimes a little motivation like that is what a player needs, is what a coach needs. So is this what Jason Garrett needs to finally get us a freaking Super Bowl? Only
we'll see
this
season
year will tell. But, honestly, I think it is going to take something pretty big to keep Jason Garrett on this team. I kind of want to know what your thoughts are, you guys in general, I guess later on, as far as like if he makes it to the playoffs, if he wins a game, if he makes it to the NFC championship, like what level is it that he has to do to keep his job? Because honestly, I think unless he makes it farther than he did this year, I see him out. And I truly think that he's the one who has something to really fight for and play for here. So I think Kellen Moore's going to be all right.
Yeah, I think that.
So shout out Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, the 420. Thank you. I believe it is also Jason Garrett. I believe he is the one that the pressure's on. Even though again, and there's a lot of Dallas Cowboy and Dallas Cowboy fan 1980. He said at the beginning he understands why people would say, Jason Garrett. It's obvious. So to me, Kellen Moore has been anointed the next, the second coming of Garrett or McVay, I guess you can say.
You think he's more in a he can do no wrong kind of position?
I think he's in a situation where he's protected by 4 other coordinators that are going to be putting input. And I'm talking about, Garrett's going to be it's still going to be his offense. You're going to have Nussmeier. You're going to have Kitna involved in this, and Dak Prescott along with Kellen Moore. So he's got a lot of guidance. So I think he's safe. I think he's pretty. I'm not going to say safe, but he is safer than Jason Garrett. But he has a lot to prove. Garrett, we know he's got the team. So that's why I agree kind of with both of you guys and all of you guys about this, because it's kind of a hard thing. Because he's got Kellen Moore has more to prove. We've been hearing about it. We haven't seen it. Will he be allowed? That's another key question. We're going to see some pre-snap stuff, some motion. We need to see that, and maybe more if Garrett lets him. So that's the key question. We really won't know until the season progresses, until we see what happens in training camp, preseason, and beyond. But I'm hopeful that they're going to let him have enough input to make a difference. We've heard players, Travis Frederick said that, they scored on plays related to some of Kellen Moore's specific play calls last year when he was barely allowed to kind of throw a play here and there in. So we're hopeful that it's going to go in the right direction. I think that he's, though, protected. That's the thing. So I don't think he's going to necessarily lose his job. The Cowboys are going to want to still keep him. But Garrett could be gone. And there's a lot of other guys out there, whether it's Mike McCarthy or Sean Payton, for the future. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are still lingering out there, that talk. So, not now, but next year, there's a lot of other options for the Cowboys to go with. And with this changing of the guard, with this in the front office, the foundational talk we've been talking about, we've been speaking about, that is part of maybe the coaching change that's going to happen next year. That's why that pressure, to me, is a lot more squarely on Jason Garrett. DCFN?
Hey, can I say real quick before you go football news?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, just real quick, this not even going to take a minute. I think, this is just me. This is just my opinion. I think Garrett is on the way out regardless. I think he's done. I don't even think he wants to coach anymore. I think him and Jerry has already talked and discussed about this being his final year. As far as he's concerned. Cowboys, they're like, okay, Garrett, you done been a Cowboy coach for this. You haven't done nothing, yada, yada, yada. We've gotten this far, boom, boom, boom. And he's like, this is going to be your last year. And Garrett's probably okay with it. And I think they're trying to get him one on his way out. That's why they're making these moves, signing D-Law, guys coming back, Jason Witten coming back. He wants to be a part of that. Seriously, I think it's more than meets the eye than what we think. It's just my opinion, guys. I think Garrett is, regardless if he won the Super Bowl or not, I think he's going to be done. And it's not all just for his performance. I think it's just like happens like, I'm done, I'm tired, and then half of the Cowboys like, well, you haven't got over that hump, so we gotta. And Garrett's like, okay, cool. This gonna be my last year anyway, so it's fine. That's just what I think. I may be wrong, and I don't mind being wrong. If I'm wrong, oh well. As long as we get a Super Bowl out of it, I don't care. But that's just my feeling. That's my feeling about it. That's all.
Guys, I'm going to go ahead. In 1980, my Cowboys family, great points, fantastic points. This is why we do the roundtable with these guys. Man, I wish fifth quarter was here. But it's fine. I'm going to make a little funny joke real quick, and it is facts. Fifth quarter Cowboys talks about red zone offense. If you play him in Madden, you don't have to worry about red zone offense because he sucks when he gets inside the 5. I'm just saying. But no, the pressure's on Kellen Moore. And here's why it's on Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, this is going to be his second year as a coach in the National Football League. To hell with Jason Garrett. In order for you to rank up in the National Football League, you got to be successful at something of what you're trying to do. And Kellen Moore, according to the Dallas Cowboys, was successful as a quarterback's coach, and that's why they promoted him to an offensive coordinator. And for other teams that probably might look at Kellen Moore's film and his offense and see how he does things, because if Jason Garrett gets fired, you can say bye to Kellen Moore. You can say bye to the Garrett guys on that coaching staff. Coaching staffs, when they make coaching changes, they want to put their own coaches in. So let's say Garrett does get fired or, whatever it is his last year. Kellen Moore has to build that resume up if he wants another job as a coach in the National Football League. And the pressure's on Kellen Moore for his future and what he wants to do in the National Football League, because there's a lot of money to be made in the National Football League. I don't know what his degree is in that he got from Boise State, but I guarantee you it doesn't grant him millions of dollars to coach football. So I'm pretty sure Kellen Moore is going to want to build that resume up and show other teams, hey, my offense does work. It is a good offense. You might want to hire me. Because, Jason Garrett might, if 1980 is right, hey, I'm done with coaching for the Dallas Cowboys. This is my last year. Let's go on a hoorah. Let's just make it worth it. Jason Garrett might sit out a couple of years. And I don't know if Jason Garrett's pride is big enough to take it, to maybe step down the ladder or maybe go back to an OC. So Kellen Moore's future, Kellen Moore's offense, that playbook Kellen Moore designed is way bigger for his future than it is anything else. And my Miss Fiance brought up, what does Garrett have to win in order to keep his job? We'll talk about that next week, guys. So make sure you stay tuned. My Cowboys family, where can they find you?
Well, you guys can find us right here at My Cowboys Family, YouTube, Twitter, all that. We're live every day, news info updates on the Dallas Cowboys, guys, and always hearing what you guys have to say. Huge shout out to everyone here who's watching this roundtable, taking time out of your Saturdays to hang with us, hang with Dallas Cowboy Football News, hang with Dallas Cowboy Fan 1980,
don't forget
hang
DJ.
with Fifth Quarter Cowboys, DJ Crown J. And guys, make sure to go sub it up to every single one of these guys, putting out great Cowboys content. Go do it. You guys know what to do, but you know what it's about every day? The number one thing. Always.
Number one.
Go
Cowboys, baby. Yeah. Let's go. I'm ready for the season to start.
So am I.
Yeah, I'm ready. I am ready for that season to start, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close out mine, and then I'll let 1980 close out his channel, guys. Again, thank you, my Cowboys family. Thank you, Dallas Cowboy Fan 1980. And why Fifth Quarter Cowboys is drilling on his pillow. Thank you, sir. Dallas Cowboy Football News on YouTube. Dallas Cowboy Football News on Facebook. DCF News 1 on Twitter. And if you're man enough to talk X's and O's, slide in my DMs like a hoe. 1980. Here.
I love it. I never get tired of that, bro. Hey, appreciate it, man. Hey, I want to thank these guys for having me on. I want to thank you guys in the comment section, all the fans out there. This wouldn't be possible without y'all. Without y'all, y'all the most important thing. We are the most important things to the Cowboys, the fans. This is where these channels are where your opinions matter. You got a lot of people get on here and they run their mouth, and I say this every week, but I just got to. I got to repeat myself because I'm getting up there in age, and sometimes I just repeat myself. Sometimes I talk to myself too, but I just don't answer back. When you answer back, that's when the problem. That's when you got problems. One day I'll get there, but not now. But I'm just so thankful, man. I'm so thankful to do this. I look forward to these roundtables with these guys. Dallas Cowboy Football News with his positive attitude and radio voice. Somebody needs to sign him, ESPN or somebody with his perfect voice that he has. My Cowboys family with the work and effort and hours that they put in on the Cowboys topics, coming up with the news, just the faithfulness they have for the Cowboys all day long. Throughout the day, they're going live. If y'all haven't subscribed to these guys, man, please do. Football News and my Cowboys family and Fifth Quarter Cowboys. Can't forget about my boy DJ, man, who will tell you like it is. Seriously, with the king, him and Football News are the kings of debate. I wish he would have been on here because that would have been very nice for them to have him to debate about the D-Law situation. But anyway, guys, this wouldn't be possible without y'all. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, taking Cowboys family say taking time out of your Saturday because it's hard to listen to somebody run their mouth about the same stuff on a Saturday. Guys, we're just fans, and this is what I'm gonna say in closing. We're just fans. Nothing that we talk about is in the Bible. It's in the game. We're not gang banging. We're not doing drive-by shootings. We're Cowboy fans. We don't play for them. We're not expecting a check from Jerry Jones for doing this. This is our love and pride for the game, for the football game itself. Then there's the Cowboys. We're happy to be a part of this, and we're happy that y'all are part of this too. And before you lay your head down on your pillow, I want you to think about the season coming up and how this could be our year. This is one of those seasons. It's just like fiance said. She said it's just a feeling. there is a feeling. Like, seriously, there's a feeling about this offseason going into the next season. There's just a feeling there that we haven't felt in years. The Cowboys are showing initiative. They're caring. They're caring about us. You get, I mean, I don't know if they're watching us or whatever. They might be, but they're actually caring about us and how we feel and what we think, you know. And they're actually making some moves. Actually, they're actually alive during the offseason. Whether it matters or not, I mean, whether these guys fail or be excellent, who knows? And that's the beauty of it. Not knowing what the season holds, talking about it, analyzing things, sharing each other's point of views, respecting each other and each other's point of views. That's what it's all about. That's the beauty of being a fan. Not getting on here fighting, not getting on here getting mad at somebody because they don't agree with you. Everybody's different. Every Cowboy fan out there in the world is different. Everybody damn near has a different blood type. You get what I'm saying? But with that being said, just make sure you stay cowboyed up and prayed up, because you never know what the day is going to bring you. Ask D-Law. Holler back at your boy. I'm out.